What's going on, everyone? Bran here from Bloody Breakdown, and today we've got some more Scream 5 news. Not the last handful of videos that I've made, which is essentially my theorizing. This time we've actually got something a little bit more concrete. An interview recently done on the Drew Barrymore show, interestingly enough, with her guest Courteney Cox. And of course, we're going to get to that in just a moment. But first, ladies and gents, if you enjoyed today's video, I'll remind you again, let me know. Let YouTube know by giving it a thumbs up, subscribing, and turning on notifications if you haven't already done so. And check in the description section. You'll see a couple of links, one to follow me on Twitter, the other to support my work on Patreon and become a producer of this damn fine content, if I do say so myself. Sort of like Raoul the Great. And he is great. And he is a producer of my content. So shout out to him. And yeah, go check out the Patreon. So enough shilling, enough whoring myself out. Let's jump in and talk about the interesting comments that Courteney Cox made in that recent interview with Drew Barrymore. So jumping right in here, there's been a lot of discussion. What exactly is what we, the fan base, have been referring to as Scream 5? What exactly is what has been officially titled Scream 2022? What is it? Is it a sequel? Is it does it contain prequel elements? Is it a remake? Is it a reboot? Like, what is it? You know, and what we know thus far, we've kind of eliminated remake, you know. Maybe a soft reboot could still be what it is. Maybe it could still contain some prequel elements. We've seen things that kind of lend us to believe something like that. But Courteney Cox made some interesting comments about some of these questions that we have. So let's jump in. Let's read the article. This is coming to us courtesy of Dread Central. As you can see, the title is Courteney Cox teases new Scream is not part 5, but something brand new. So we've been talking about this, and most people, including myself, seem to have been on the going along with the idea that it's not called Scream 5 because obviously you put a number at the end of your movie, especially if it's not 2. Like, it's a higher number as far as movies go. 5, I think, is a good example. You know, a lot of people will think, I don't want to go back and watch the first 4 to go watch this one. So they just name it whatever the original was called. Halloween did it. And obviously Scream's doing it. So let's see what she specifically said here, because this has a lot of people standing on their toes, ears perked, to say the least. So it says, Scream legacy cast member Courteney Cox now cryptically teases Radio Silence's new movie is not Scream 5, but something brand new. Oh, there's a nice picture of Courteney and Wes. Rest in peace. Wes not being at the helm of this thing is really what makes me have like miniature panic attacks whenever I read articles like this, because with Wes, you were like, it's in good hands. You know, like, even when Kevin wasn't around, Wes even made Scream 3 a watchable, enjoyable film. So there's that. Not taking anything away from the Radio Silence guys, but I'll digress and we'll move on here. So Radio Silence's Scream 5, now officially called Scream, hits theaters next year. And today, legacy cast member Courteney Cox teases the new movie is not Scream 5, but something brand new. So Courteney tells Drew Barrymore, quote, Scream is the 5th one. It's not Scream 5, though. This is Scream. Those directors are incredible. They're making it absolutely. It's a new franchise. It's hip. It's scary. It's just a new Scream. It's not a reboot. It's not a remake. It's just a brand new launch, and I think it's going to be fantastic. So it's a short quote, but a lot of people have been up in arms about that exact quote. Now, she went on, like I said, I think the Drew Barrymore show is like a daytime television show type thing. I don't know. I'm at work. I never see this shit. But as far as I know, that's what it is. So Courteney wouldn't be going on to any daytime TV talk shows to promote this film just throwing literal whatever. Like she goes in, she worked on this project, obviously. She's promoting this project, obviously. Um, and sometimes when that's done, things are said that maybe aren't always true to garner interest. I'm not saying that's what's going on here, but that is a possibility. And I think it kind of goes into that whole thing that I was talking about earlier about, people don't want to have to go and watch Scream 1, 2, 3, 4 to prepare themselves to go see Scream 5. People just want to be able to go out to the theater. And I get that. Not everyone's like us hardcore fans that have already seen Scream 1 through 4 1,000,008 times and are chomping at the bit to see the next installment in the franchise. Not everyone's like that, and they have to appeal to that broader demographic. Sure, I get that. But let's break down what she says here. Scream is the fifth one, so she acknowledges that it's the fifth movie in the franchise. I mean, how the fuck can you not at this point? But says immediately it's not Scream 5, though. This is Scream. So immediately when you hear that, you think reboot, remake. But she goes on to say later on in this quote that it's not a reboot and it's not a remake, it's a brand new launch. So what do people gather from this? I've seen people make videos about this. I've seen tweets about this. I have stayed away from them on purpose because I don't want anyone else's ideas mixing with what's going on in my head. You come to this channel to hear what I have to say about things, and I try not to have a lot of influence come in, especially when it's things that are, subjective, like this quote is. You can kind of take this a bunch of different ways. So what I feel is going on here is I feel we are getting a Scream film that is going to be about as close to a legacy sequel as you can possibly get in the Scream universe. And I say that because Scream has always been a franchise that is very grounded. It's kept the same characters. It's kept the same story. It's one of the most coherent slasher franchises in the history of slasher films and franchises. It really is. So with that, you don't want to pull like a Halloween 2018 and ignore sequels, which they're obviously not doing, bringing in Judy Hicks. So they're acknowledging Scream 4. They're not ignoring Scream 3 with the Martha Meeks character there. There are some rumblings here that Joel's character could be returning. So if that's the case, then they're obviously not ignoring Scream 2. They're not ignoring any sequels. They're not pulling the Halloween where we're just saying, okay, we're just going to be a sequel to the original. But I still think this is somewhat of a quote unquote legacy sequel. And I also feel like this is going to have some very heavy prequel elements to it. A lot of people saying, could this movie be a prequel? No, I don't think this movie's a prequel, but I do think that it has heavy prequel elements in the form of flashbacks and things of that nature. I mean, you go back and you see the stills that were released when filming wrapped, and you saw Kevin Williamson with Courtney and Nev in front of Stu's old house. You see the kid in the background, a presumable extra wearing the Stephen Orth coat, the Letterman jacket rather, which has only been shown in the original Scream. Even in Scream 4, when they were back in Woodsboro, you never saw anyone in that high school, to my recollection, wearing that Letterman jacket. And you would think the design would change over 25 years, and it has not. It's identical. So I think what we're looking at here, more than likely, is what's been referred to as a legacy sequel. It's going to rely heavy on the first film. I don't think you're going to hear much. And Scream's kind of synonymous with that. I mean, they always reference like 2 reference the original, 3 reference the original, 4 reference the original. You didn't see 4 referencing 2 and 3. You didn't see 3 referencing 2 directly. So I don't think it's that out of step from what we've already seen in this franchise. And like I said, I think there's going to be some heavy prequel elements. I do think, I guess, to sum all this up, that this movie is going to be a hodgepodge of remake, reboot, sequel, prequel, legacy sequel. I don't think you're ever going to be able to put a stamp on this and call it whatever, of those descriptors you want to call it. I don't think you're going to be able to do that with this new Scream film. And I kind of like that. I kind of like it. It's something new and it's something different, but it's familiar at the same time. And to me, that, something new and different, but adding that nostalgia kick to it really kicks me into motion for being excited about this thing. Also, I just kind of want to point out in this quote here, Courtney said, "It's hip, it's scary." I'm pretty sure that exact quote was on the cover, the VHS cover of the original Scream, probably the movie poster as well. Um, After a certain point, because I believe that was a direct review from somebody. So it's interesting she picked those words specifically, which is once again another reason that I think she's just not going into this interview willy nilly, just saying whatever the fuck comes to her head. Obviously, when you're promoting a film that you've been paid to do, and you want them to make money because it's good for you, um, it just seems to me like these words were, I don't want to say carefully chosen, but I mean, at the same time, I think that she definitely thought about how she was going to put this before she said it. So, to kind of recap one more time, in essence, it is the fifth Scream. It's the fifth movie in the franchise, but it's not Scream 5. Um, it's not a reboot, it's not a remake, it's a brand new launch. Like I said, this is interesting. We could go watch Scream 2022 in January when it's supposed to come out at this current juncture, and we could see that she's full of shit, and it definitely falls into one of these categories. But I don't know, because I've felt this way longer, way longer than just since hearing this interview, which was yesterday, I believe, when I originally heard this. So this just kind of confirms to me that this movie is going to be something different, and I'm fucking here for it. I really am. I'm really interested to see what the new filmmakers are going to do with this property. I'm really interested to see what avenue they're going to take, because it's the Scream property. We know what it is, um, and there are going to be some familiar elements to it. I mean, there's kind of got to be, but what new avenues are they exactly planning on taking in this one to make this stand out, to make this new, to make it different, but for it to still be Scream? So, quite frankly, I can't wait. I'm calling it now. I'm saying we are looking at a quasi legacy sequel with some heavy moments of prequel. That's what I'm going for, because those were two terms that you never saw or heard Courtney mention in that descriptor. But that's just my opinion. I want to know what you all think. Let me know down in the comment section below. Are we all just reading too much into what Courtney Cox said in this interview? Is she just trying to stir up interest to get everyone to go out to see the movie? It's totally possible. Or do you think this thing's going to be something totally different altogether, the likes of which we may have never seen before, kind of like the original Scream was? So let me know down in the comment section below. Also, we've reached the end of the video. Now you know if you've liked it or not. So let myself know, let YouTube know by giving it a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe and turn on notifications if this channel seems like something you're into, if you haven't done that already. I notice you sons of bitches are watching these videos and not subscribing. Like, the bar of people who are watching my videos who are unsubscribed, too damn high. Can't take it. It's an injustice. So subscribe or fuck you is what I'm saying. That's my new model here at at Bloody Breakdown. I kid, only a little bit. But so yeah, and also definitely check down below in the description section. You'll see a link to my Twitter account where you can follow me. It's pretty much anything and everything horror cinema going down over there as well. And of course, my Patreon, where you could become a supporter of this content. I keep the Patreon tiers low, $1 and $5. So yeah, be like Raoul the Great, become a producer of this content, get acknowledged in every single video. And I would be eternally grateful for you doing that. So with that said, one more time, let me know what you all think down in the comment section below. I'm Bran from Bloody Breakdown, and we'll catch you all next time.